Okay, we're back in the mud, as they say.
Yeah.
You've
Back to
made
the
your way
grind.
all the way down the bottom right of the map, I can see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at
Yeah.
the fuel station. I've got a fuel truck here. Should I reposition it somewhere on the map? And if so, where do you think would be the most useful place for that?
Well, given the fact that the both lumber mills are up there, I don't know which log kiosk you plan on using mainly, but maybe somewhere on the mid in between there. Like, actually, instead of explaining it to you, I'm gonna just point on the map. What do you think about that intersection there? Because
Okay.
it seems to be pretty central.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'll put it on that road.
Because we can't get through the block post with the load anyway. So
Yeah, and it'd be a real pain to keep driving to the fuel station.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll do that. I shall. Well, it's already fueled up, I think. Yep, I shall do that. And are you going to start moving some logs and seeing how far you can get?
Yes, I am actually. I have the first one almost loaded. That's one.
I can't remember if I refueled this thing.
It should show you if you click on it, I think. No. If I could. Ah, here we go. The engine started.
Good old diesel emissions.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, straight out.
Oh, if I could only... No. Honking the horn and doing all kinds of things instead of just getting rid of that darn log.
The horn is pretty good, though.
Especially the birds that
Yeah.
are getting angry at you and flying away.
Okay, yep, we're full on fuel, so I'm gonna set a waypoint.
I have to be honest with you, I wish that Farming Sim had these kind of log physics though.
What was I playing yesterday? Oh, that Demolish and Build game.
Oh yeah.
And I think I commented as I was making the video that even Construction Simulator, you have to load things onto the back of trailers, but in that game, you just turn up with your truck and your trailer, click a button, and it just loads them all, everything onto the back.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a cop-out. But this is like the only game, I think, that I've seen that seems to simulate log physics remotely correctly.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, on this one, at least, if you have your claw and you grab the log, then you have the log. You don't have to worry that it will just all of a sudden fly away. Has to come home to his people, I don't even know.
I wonder if they'll ever, like, get bigger maps on this thing.
Or like real big maps, yeah, that would be...
Yeah. Or combine it with construction in some way. I do think it would be amazing to have, if you combine this with construction sim gameplay.
Oh, can you imagine? With the mud physics and everything. Oh.
Exactly. Like, you have to, you have to go through the mud and build outposts and things. Like, bridges. Like, if it would only let you unlock parts of the map once you'd built a bridge, but you had to move all the logs there to build the bridge. Like higher level objectives would be so cool.
That would be nice.
But if they can implement physics in this, like with the logs, you know those supermassive cranes you get in construction sim, the big ones, really high up, and that they could implement physics on those, that would just be insane.
Oh yeah, the LTMs, that would be amazing.
So I remember that game that came out. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. It was called like Big Machines or something like that.
Oh, wasn't that one of the Playway games too?
Yeah, and you had this like massive mining machine.
Yeah.
And I think, everybody that looks at that is like, oh my God, that'd be so cool to play around with these massive machines. But actually, it was nothing like that because it was more or less get in and click some buttons. There was no sense of physics or weight or mass or anything. It was just click this, click that, move it here, click that.
The idea was good. I will say that much.
But that's the point, isn't it? The idea is often good, but the execution's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I wonder, honestly, if they are like, well, nobody is gonna pay any attention to this anyway, so we're not even gonna bother with something useful. We'll just throw something out and see where it goes from there. But I think it's lost potential.
Yeah, I think it's, physics like in this game has got to be very, very difficult. And I think they just choose the path of least resistance. They make something that's going to sell and make some money, then they can go on to the next project.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of throwaway simulators in this world, let me put it that way.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that. Okay, well, apparently I'm not able to make the difference between a medium log and a full-size one, because I tried to put medium ones on my long trailer. That didn't work quite so well.
Well, you can always remove them, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just going to work out which log kiosk. I think I'm going to try and go down across the middle of the map because we've not actually tried to do that, and I want to know how difficult that is. Without any logs, and if it's too difficult, I'll go a different way with the logs.
Yeah. Well, I'm really curious how this is all gonna go, because coming down was easy through the block post. Going up, that's gonna be the interesting part. And it's getting dark. I love loading logs in the dark.
There's certain aspects of this game that when night comes, they get a lot more difficult.
Honestly, since it became Mudrunner, I have not loaded logs in the dark, so I'm curious if they changed anything on the lights on the crane. I sure hope so, though.
What? I mean, if you've got a spare vehicle down there, you can actually turn the lights on the other vehicle and then just get out, and it will shine its light onto your vehicle. It's just kind of handy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem to worry about batteries going flat in this game, let's put it that way.
No.
Some of these roads look like they should be quite hard surfaces, but when you get to them, it just carves up mud.
Soft. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, I don't know, it almost seems like they are all muddy. There's just a little bit more dense at that point. And they look like asphalt or whatever they use.
Yeah, it's going dark now. It's weird that like every map in this game is basically set in a swampland. Like it's just super misty, very hazy. Lots of trees and lots of mud. I've put the fuel truck in position anyway, so...
Oh, good.
Whenever you go past that, feel free to grab some fuel. I don't know if we discussed this or not in the last video, but did you, like the whole FS Labs malware thing, did you read about that?
Oh, about them collecting all kinds of data about, yes.
Yeah, I mean, what was your take on that?
In the name of DRM? Wow.
Yeah, in the name of anti-piracy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just briefly for people who've listening who've not read this, there was an aircraft from Flight Sim Labs that got released. It's on P3D. It's a P3D plane, isn't it? And when you install it, and you put your serial key in there, and it checks to see if the key's like a valid one or a stolen one. And if it's a stolen key, or if their server thinks it's a stolen key, it then deploys as part of the install test.exe, which is known malware that hooks into Chrome, takes all the usernames and passwords, and then they promptly send it off to one of their insecure servers where they're all collected. And it's not just details about the install, it's like all the usernames and passwords that you've stored in your browser, which is potentially lots of very personal things. And they send it all to the server, and it's gone all over Reddit, it's gone all over the IT websites. There's an absolute massive uproar over the whole thing, and it just makes you wonder what was going through their mind when they did that and thought that it was a good idea.
Yeah, I honestly, ever since I read the first article about it, I'm trying to figure exactly that question out. What were you thinking? Like, what part of your brain made you think this was a good idea, especially in this day and age?
And I think what alerted them was the fact that when they installed it, a lot of people's antivirus systems were firing up, going, "This is known malware."
Yeah. Well, and then for SF Labs to say, "Oh well, just turn your antivirus off, or your anti-malware off to install it and to use it later because it will still go off." Yeah, no.
Yeah, turn your antivirus off in order to install that aircraft. Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what the fallout will be in the long run for them, because there has to be.
I think the fallout will be huge. I think, if nothing else, like, they've massively damaged their reputation as a company. Like, their trust has been completely destroyed with all the valid customers, never mind the ones that were stealing their stuff.
Well, you know what the thing is? I mean, the flight sim, the sim community in itself is not very big. Well, the flight sim community is even smaller. So to do this is almost a death sentence for a company, or can be a death sentence potentially for a company.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would seriously, even if I know they've come back and said, "Oh, we've removed it now," but a company that would even do that in the first place is you've got question marks all over, like, what else are they doing, you know? And it's a real shame, because their actual product is very, very good.
Yeah.
So it's a real pain for everybody. Okay, let's see if I can get across this river. A lot of logs on the other side.
There, I think I got them now. I should be able to make a load out of this.
I'm stuck on something.
Oh, you know what? With my truck down here, I can potentially haul 8 points in one swift go.
8 points in one go, wow.
Yes, sir. It's gonna be a pain to drive that thing because it's gonna be heavy as anything, but hey. Hey-yo.
Well, that river's crossable, but it's difficult.
I seen... Initially I was made aware by... well, Ty was tweeting about it, so...
Yeah, he talked about it in his stream.
Yeah. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That can't be possibly true. Nobody would be that brazen to really come up. Nope, sure enough. It held true.
I mean, as a company, it's obviously really annoying when people, you know, in quotes, steal product keys and things. But at the end of the day, you can't go shipping malware. You just can't.
No.
There's no excuse for shipping malware.
Well, especially, you know, if it collects just data Like, it's wrong either way, but if it just collects limited stuff based on your products, okay, that's one thing. But I mean, this thing, who knows what it all collects?
Well, it's taking all the usernames and passwords that you've got in Chrome. So for people that are storing their Facebook and their Instagram and their Twitter and everything like that in Chrome, it's sent them all to a server on the internet, which wasn't even an encrypted link.
Yeah.
So anybody could just intercept that and grab all that data, or get into their server and grab all that data, and it's seriously personal information. I wouldn't be surprised if they get people suing them over this.
Could very well be.
I don't know. I think if anybody that's installed that product should seriously go around and reset a lot of the passwords.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know what's compromised right now.
You know, especially in this day and age where everybody is already so cautious about this, I just don't know. This is speak of a PR nightmare for somebody.
It also highlights the dangers of caching passwords in a browser. Like just the fact that you can have a malware that does this.
That is very true. Well, I mean, this is obviously not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but I personally, I grew very fond of. Oh man, now I forgot the name of it. I tell you.
One of the password managers.
LastPass.
LastPass.
I love LastPass because I was once in the situation where somebody tried to get into everything. Like on the same day, they tried to YouTube, like my Google account and my Twitter and everything at the same day. They didn't make it, thankfully, but at that point I was like, okay, my standards for passwords are too low, I felt like, even though initially I thought they were good enough, but now having everything with at least 32 characters and absolutely unpronounceable, it's a little bit of a better feeling. And then on top of that, I have pretty much on everything two-factor authentication.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've had the same thing. I've had that. I've been attacked, YouTube and Twitch and all the rest of it. I think the only thing that they managed to get into was my Skype when I used to use Skype years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember.
And that was the prompt for me to just completely go around, and I think I used one password at the time and just reset everything to completely secure and turn on two-factor authentication, all the rest of it. And I've never had a problem since.
And I did the same thing initially. I thought I had a very secure password, but I used that one password on everything, and now I'm using I have not one password that I use on two sides. Just it's too easy today. In this day and age, really.
How do you determine what length of logs what your trailer takes? Does it show it somewhere?
No, you pretty much, the logs are, it has to be proportional to the trailer. Like the short ones, it will look just right. They will look like they just.
But you don't know until you put it in there.
Yep. You have to kind of guess. The long logs I can tell you, because the long logs are only for the super long ones that have, that extension in the middle where you pretty much have the trailer on the back of the truck until you are ready to unload.
I'm thinking these look like short logs.
And then the medium ones, well, I'm hauling right now medium and long ones. Yeah, sorry, medium and short ones. 4 of each. And then, I don't know if you remember that, but you have to click on them to pack them, because I almost forgot exactly that.
Yeah. Yeah, these are
I'm
definitely
on my way.
short.
Hopefully.
Although I'm not sure how many I need to put in there to make it. One more. So I need to put 4 short in there. Yeah, I used to use one password for many years, and recently I've started using a tool called Dashlane, which, you know, it actually, again, I'm not advertising or anything because, like, you know, there's just no point, but it's just one I choose. There's so many of them and they're all pretty good. They all have pros and cons. But I use it because it allows me to, it has a really cool feature where, for example, all the family have their own account. But because it's all one service, it's just one bill that I pay for. And if I want to share an account with somebody, like, for example, Netflix, so I pay for Netflix and I set the password, and I store it in my Dashlane, and I can share that out. And so in the Dashlane, they'll be able to log in with that password. And if I change it in Dashlane, and they'll instantly get the new one. And that's a really cool feature because I don't need to tell them what the password is, but they can still use the account.
Oh yeah, I think LastPass has a similar option. I don't use it because nobody else in the family but me.
Well, they will one day.
But yeah, well, at the moment, yeah, they are all too young, and my wife is quite happy with me taking care of all of that. So, but yes, you're very right. As they grow older, they will. Oh man, I tell you.
Okay, 3 points.
I'm not gonna make that to that fuel station, and I'm not gonna make it to this fuel station. Oh, this is good. So I will have to alter my plan, I think. I'm gonna take the E7429 that's sitting up there. Oh, it's empty too. Oh, that's good.
I think my rear trailer is medium logged, but I won't know until I try.
What truck do you have? Is E6317?
Let's see. Don't know, it doesn't tell me, does it? Unless I get out of the vehicle.
Oh, you should be able to see it just when you go on your map.
Yeah, but you can't.
It will be highlighted in red.
Oh, C6317.
Okay, yeah, you have the same. The front is short ones, the back is medium.
Okay.
You have the same truck that I have. We will be able to haul 8.
Well, you get, is it 7 points? 4 and 3?
Oh, is it 4 and 3? I thought it was 4 and 4.
I think so. I think the short ones are only 3, aren't they? I'll find out in a minute.
Yeah. I just loaded them too, I should know, but I'm preoccupied here with worries about fuel because I'm pretty much empty.
Well, there's a fuel truck. Oh, these controls are so backwards. Up is down, down is up. I'm sure it makes perfect sense when you're sat inside operating the controls. But when you're on a little Xbox controller, it's like, ah.
Oh, I know. I'm used. Well, that's the thing. Because I do a lot of logging in farming sim. I have actually my setup is 2 joysticks that are attached to my wheel when I do any of these. But that doesn't work here. So struggling with the controller is always fun for me too.
Did you have to put 6 logs in the back?
No. I had 4 and 4. And then you just... Yeah, it worked. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh no. I mean, I'm happy that the sun is back. I'm not happy that I'm down to 27 liters.
27 litres of fuel.
Yes, sir.
Oh no, it just dropped one. Oh, you scumbag. It's like one of those machines in the circus. Not in the circus. Those machines with the grab handle in the arcades.
Oh, those claw games, yeah.
Yeah, the claw games like that, where it sort of gives you the illusion that you've got it.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts
then
lifting up and then lets go of it. And then your
Did you
daughter's
know
going,
that-
no, I wanted it so bad, Daddy. And you're like, no, I'll put some more money in and get it for you.
Yeah, exactly. And then $50 later.
I just could have bought one.
Yeah, I know. It's something, isn't it?
Should do it. Something is blocking.
I drove the wrong way and I'm already low on fuel.
Okay, well, we can always rescue you if need be. Okay, I am locked and loaded. Let's have a look where you are. Oh, you're down there, crikey.
Yeah,
Why have you gone that way?
ask me something that I can answer. This one
Shouldn't you have gone
cannot
right at that
answer.
junction?
Yeah.
Okay, getting your fuel, that's going to be interesting. You need to...
Yep.
You can't turn around, really, can you?
That's the thing. I was thinking, oh, I just turn around, but that's not an option. I just have to tough it out now.
Yeah, but 27 litres is not going to get you very far.
No. And I'm down to 16 anyway. 6! Sorry, it's not even 16 anymore. It's now 6. So it's done. You know what I love though? When the truck is underwater and the exhaust pipe is underwater, how it goes. That makes me happy.
Yeah, and the sound of the engine stopping when you run out of fuel.
Well, that's a whole different story.
Chug, 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 chug.
Yeah. That was, yeah. That's the end.
So the fuel truck, you're going to have to drive it down. What you could do is you can jump in it now and keep driving it towards, because I'm coming towards the river crossing where you'll come down to, so I can help you get across if need be, or vice versa. And then you'll have to drive it.
I'm A, stuck, and B, out of fuel. So
yeah. Well, you'll need to drive the fuel truck down there. Refuel it, then I can jump in the fuel truck and haul you out.
here's the problem. I can't drive any of your trucks, nor can you drive one of mine, so I have to kinda rescue myself here. Which is okay. I'm probably gonna take the K700 and change its loadout. To, well, I don't even know if I can.
God, this thing burns through fuel, doesn't it? Crikey.
Mm-hmm. Once she's loaded, yep, it's pretty rough.
See if we can get away with diff locking one axle and not using all-wheel drive to save some fuel. Trouble is, this little river crossing's got lots and lots of little trees on the floor, and they're an absolute nightmare to get over.
Yeah.
Because the wheel just seems to come up against it and then sit there and spin. There's a better way to cross over here. Let's try it that way. I have no doubt that I'm going to need the winch here. Of course, if we manage to get 7 points into each one with this run, then we could detach the trailer and just go for a short run to finish it.
Mm-hmm. We also have still one garage to unlock if you wanted to accomplish that. Which I don't know if you want to bother or not, but
uh-oh. As expected.
please tell me you are full of fuel. Okay, I'm gonna come with my K700 as a rescue truck. Tractor, literally You know what's funny? There is about an hour and a half from here, there is, and I do not know how it got there. The K700 is as Russian, or as Russian as Russian gets in terms of machinery.
Yeah.
There is one sitting about an hour from here in the driveway of a farm. I have no idea how it got to Canada. I'm gonna take a picture of it next time when I drive past it, because this is one of those mysteries. I was tempted to go to that farmer and ask him, okay, how?
Yeah.
How? Just how?
Maybe he's a Russian farmer that emigrated to Canada and brought his K700 with him. But even so, just moving something like that to Canada's got to be very expensive.
Oh yeah. I was thinking maybe he came right across the Bering Strait, but
Well, this is it. It would have to be shipped in and then taken on a truck, wouldn't it? Because, you know, the idea of flying that in,
oh,
that would be very expensive. I'm down to 85 litres.
Well, I'm coming with the K700 down with 600 liters, so I can give you some and then go to my truck and rescue myself and do all these things.
Well, I should be able to make it to the fuel truck that I positioned earlier, hopefully.
Oh, okay.
So as long as I can make it there, I can reload with fuel, keep going. Oh boy, this is an incline.
It would be kind of nice if you could, especially in a multiplayer scenario there, if you could... Boy, tell me I'm wrong again. Nope, this time I'm right. Now, if you could utilize... Let's say you park the fuel trailer and I could actually utilize that with you having to jump into the fuel trailer and fueling me up, essentially. Like, use the utilities independent from each other. But unfortunately, that's not the case.
No, because we're playing...
Oh, before I forget it, I have to thank you and your viewers. Because the last week and a half was a little bit insane. Or last week, since we published the videos.
What, you mean your subscribers?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you deserve to be on 100k, so...
Well, it will be soon. It's less than...
Must be looking like a week or something.
I think 1700 or so to go. Which is... insane.
Yeah, the 100k mark is good because YouTube, you'll get an email and or a letter and it'll say, you know, congratulations, blah blah blah, you've got 100,000 and you know, we're going to send you something. And then weeks and weeks later, long when you've completely forgotten about the whole thing, one day this box will turn up with a silver play button in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the really annoying thing is the next time you even get anything is 1 million.
Yeah.
Which is insane because, you know, 500,000 something would have been really nice. But you don't get anything until you get 1 million subs, which is a long, long way. It's a long way to jump that.
Well, I know they were discussing even to discontinue the play button for a while, which I think would be a mistake on YouTube's part. But then again, YouTube is pretty good at making mistakes lately, so why not?
They're very good at doing stupid things. And it'll save them a few pennies, so they'll probably do it. Hopefully you can get yours before they change their mind.
I was about to say, hopefully we'll make it. Because I mean, it might be silly, I realize that, but it's something to work towards, and it was something that I did work towards for the last 5 years. To think of that, I almost threw it all into the thing when I sent you that initial email. I was like, literally 5 minutes from just hitting delete on my whole channel.
Wow. I think everybody who watches your channel is pretty thankful for you not doing that.
Well, I'm pretty thankful for you talking me out of it, even though I never thought that you would answer, given the fact that you had back then already 50,000 subscribers.
Crikey, was it that long?
Yeah, I know. It's been a while.
Wow. Where does time go, Alex?
Yeah.
I was a talk show that I listened to, and one of the discussion points was why, what was it now? Why does time seem to go quicker when you get older? And there's no real answer to this. There's just a whole bunch of theories about why time seems to go quicker when you get older than when you're young. Like, days and weeks seem to last forever, but when you're older, days and weeks can just fly by.
Months fly by, yeah, I know.
Exactly.
I know.
You know, one answer was, as a child, you're thinking quicker. Everything's happening at a million miles an hour. Everything's new. That was the other thing. Is a lot of stuff that you see is new. Whereas when you're older, it's all seen before kind of thing. Another answer was, you know, when you're young, like a year of your life, if you're only 10, a year of your life is only a tenth. It's like a big chunk of your life. Whereas when you're older, as a percentage, a year is not that long compared to your lifespan. So
Yeah,
it's a weird thing, but everybody notices it, but nobody can really explain it.
True. It's definitely true, yeah. And I don't know about you, but I have to say, it feels, or you really notice it when you look at your kids too.
Your
Like,
kids can grow up in a blink of an eye. It's scary.
Man.
Like, you look at pictures of your kids when they're younger, and you're like, I can remember them looking like that. But it feels like a very long time ago. You know, it kind of feels like yesterday, but it feels like a very long time ago at the same time. Because you look at them now and you think, how did they get to that without me noticing? Where's that time gone?
Yeah.
But if I look at a picture of one of my kids when they were a little baby, it feels like a different life. It was that long ago, it just feels like a different life to me. Right, going that way. Maybe I can get some logs delivered. Oh wow, the mud's thick down here, this bit. Crikey. I never thought I'd get stuck there. How's the rescue operation going?
Oh good, I'm that K700 is an amazing rescue vehicle, I have to say. I just fueled my trailer up and I'm now heading. Oh my goodness, did I ever lose my way? Wow. I couldn't be much wronger. Like,
are you using waypoints?
well, now I am, yes, because I don't trust my ability to find the way anymore. I'm just gonna chalk that up under.
Yeah, I mean, I always use waypoints. Because there's quite a few times when I've nearly gone the wrong way. If it wasn't for the red circle and the arrow telling me which way to go, I'd have been lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing is absolutely chewing through fuel.
Oh, I know. It's like it's really good on fuel while it's empty, but boy oh boy.
Yeah. It definitely helps
See,
if you can turn off all-wheel drive whenever you can, because it...
I was about to say the K700 is the same way. 9 liters once I'm driving without all-wheel, and turning all-wheel on, we are talking about 26 to 30 liters.
Yeah, that's insane. Considering, I mean, that's basically, what, a tenth of its capacity every minute going. There's a lot to be said for just slow and steady in this, you know, just getting the right gear and just chewing through the whole thing. But you've got to use the diff lock and the all-wheel drive, like, sparingly. Wow, it's so muddy here, crikey.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I've just gone slightly the wrong way. Yes, I have. Now I've got to go through the water. That's a big mistake.
I don't know if you had one of those comments too, but the comments on the one that I published so far of the Spintire videos of us two were overwhelmingly positive. Thanks for that. But there were a lot of people asking if there's any plans of us ever playing in modded maps and with modded vehicles, which I'm totally open to. But I leave that up to you.
I streamed last week. I was streaming this, and I used a modded map and a modded vehicle called a Tatra, which was just a bit of a monster. And it worked out pretty well, except my vehicle choice on the screen. Like, I chose this Tatra, and then I chose these other vehicles. And basically, the only thing that turned out to be of any use on the map was the Tatra and the K700. And the K700 more or less rescued the Tatra whenever I managed to turn it on its side. So, you know, like, using modded maps is great, but if you make the wrong choices about your vehicles, it can get pretty tricky.
Yeah, I see. I was there when you were using that. Was it a Range Rover or a Land Rover? I think a Land Rover.
Yeah, completely useless, really. Like,
looked good though.
It's fine to a point, and then, God, this was such a mistake going this way. So I mean, I think modded maps are the way to go. Modded vehicles, like, you've got to look at them, because some of them, frankly, are just game breakers. Like, they're just OP.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know there was this Oshkosh on the old Spintires that if you had that one, you pretty much, no matter what the map, you would win, because even if you put it on its side, it can ride itself up.
Yeah. Which to me takes away the whole purpose of the game is to be challenging, surely.
Pain and agony simulator, is what I call it. Oh no.
That doesn't sound good.
Well, it's too funny. You drive, and then all of a sudden it goes slower and slower and slower, and next thing you know is you're sitting on your diff because you just dug yourself in. I cannot imagine hauling logs with a K700. I mean, that thing is chewing through 29 liters just with a little utility trailer attached.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I was trying to use the K700 to load logs on the back of the trailers, but the trailers were too high, so it couldn't reach over the top.
Oh, with the loader, yeah.
Yeah. Like, and there's no way of collapsing the sides of these trailers. You can't, so that you can load it, you have to use the crane.
Yep.
Man, I've used over half of my fuel just from the refuel truck getting to the log drop-off point. This is
did you make it?
Well, I'm not far away. I'm nearly there. Lumber mill.
Yeah, I can see my stranded one now in the distance. So I'm about to recover from my mistake. I hope.
Well, you can refuel it. If you need me to get in there and help haul you out, just let me know.
Yeah, I'll see what happens next. It's gonna be interesting for sure because I have to turn around somewhere, somehow. Oh. Please. Please.
Again, that doesn't sound good. Oh no, please, please.
I think we're good. Maybe. Hopefully.
Okay.
Oh yeah, good. There was one winch point that I had within reach, and I just broke it.
Well, I just dropped off 7 points onto the lumber mill. So
Well, I guess one of us is productive.
one of those lumber mills is nearly done. Oh, I see where you are. Wait, where's the other vehicle gone? Oh, they're both your vehicles. I can't jump into them then. Wait, where are you? Where's the other vehicle gone? Because I can only see one vehicle right now.
Which one are you talking about?
Well, I'm looking at where you are on the map, and I can only see your arrow. I can't see the other vehicle.
Yeah, I don't think it shows my other vehicle. My other vehicle is about 200 meters east of me, but it might as well be 5 kilometers because I just dug myself in and I broke the only winch point that I had.
Oh my god.
Oh, wait, maybe not. I always forget that I have a winch in the back too.
Well, I think that seems like a decent place to cut this video.
And this one. Mm-hmm.
It's long enough, so we'll have to continue this in the next one, I think.
That sounds good to me. More pain and agony.